There is a kind of man the world always underestimates. Not because he is weak, not because he lacks ambition, but because he refuses to show his hand. He sits in the corner of the room while everyone else is talking, planning, arguing, posting, boasting, and he says nothing. He watches, he calculates, he waits. They call him slow. They call him boring. They call him a dreamer who never does anything. And then one day, without warning, without announcement, the plan is already finished. The work is already done. The result is already standing in front of them, and there is nothing left to argue about. That is the mindset we are talking about today. Not loud confidence, not empty hype. Not motivational quotes shared for likes. We are talking about silent, disciplined, obsessive preparation, the kind that doesn't need an audience to exist. Think of the most patient strategist you have ever seen in any story, the type of character who spends years drawing blueprints in a basement, while the rest of the world assumes he is doing nothing. With his life, he is mocked by people who work half as hard and talk twice as much. He is dismissed by people who cannot sit still long enough to build anything that lasts. But he keeps drawing. He keeps calculating. He keeps preparing for a moment nobody else even knows is coming. That is not weakness. That is the most dangerous form of strength there is. We live in a world that worships noise. Post your goals, announce your plans. Tell everyone what you're going to become before you've taken a single real step toward becoming it. And somewhere along the way, we started confusing talking about success with actually building it. But here is the truth nobody tells you. Every time you announce your plan before it's ready, you give away your power. You invite doubt. You invite opinions from people who have never built anything themselves. You invite comparison, jealousy, and distraction. And worst of all, you release the pressure. The moment you tell someone your goal, some small part of your brain feels like you've already done something, when in reality, you've done nothing but talk. Silence removes all of that. Silence protects the plan. Silence keeps the fire contained until it's strong enough that nothing can put it out. Think about it like this. A seed doesn't announce that it's going to become a tree. It doesn't ask permission from the soil. It doesn't explain itself to the wind. It simply pushes downward, quietly, in complete darkness, building roots nobody can see long before it ever shows a single leaf above the ground. By the time anyone notices it, it's already too strong to be pulled out. That's what silent work does for you. While you're underground, building your skills, fixing your habits, learning your craft, healing your weaknesses, nobody sees it. Nobody claps for it. Nobody validates it. And that is exactly why it works. Because you're building strength without the pressure of an audience, without the ego of applause, without the fear of public failure. There's a reason certain masterminds in stories wear a mask that hides their identity. It's not just about protection from the outside world. It's about protection from distraction. When no one knows who you really are, no one can pull you into their arguments, their opinions, their noise. You move through the world unseen, gathering information, learning everyone else's weaknesses, while revealing none of your own. You don't need a literal mask to apply this in your life. Your mask is your silence. It's the version of yourself that shows up to work every single day without broadcasting the struggle. It's choosing not to explain your bad days to people who wouldn't understand your good ones either. It's protecting your energy so fiercely that outsiders can't tell if you're winning or losing, because either way, you keep showing up exactly the same. People who wear their emotions like a billboard get read easily. People who keep their plans behind a calm, unreadable face become impossible to predict and impossible to stop. No great outcome in history was built on motivation alone. Motivation is a spark. It gets you started, and then it disappears the moment things get hard, the moment you're tired, the moment nobody is watching. What replaces motivation, what actually finishes the job, is the plan. A real plan isn't a vague dream. It's not, I want to be successful or I want to change my life. A real plan has stages. It has timelines. It has contingencies for when things go wrong, because things always go wrong. A real plan accounts for the version of you that will want to quit and builds a system strong enough to carry you forward even on the days your motivation is at zero. This is where most people fail. They want the result without designing the blueprint. They want the outcome without respecting the process. But every silent worker who has ever achieved something extraordinary understands one unchangeable law. The plan must be built in complete detail before the execution ever begins. Sit down. Write out exactly what you're building. Break it into phases. Identify the weak points, the moments where you're most likely to give up, the people most likely to distract you, the emotions most likely to derail you. Then build your armor against each one in advance before you need it. This is what separates a dreamer from a strategist. A dreamer hopes it works out. A strategist has already accounted for every way it could fail and built a way through anyway. There will be days you don't feel like doing the work. There will be days your body is tired, your mind is foggy, and every excuse in the world will sound completely reasonable. This is where most people stop, because they were relying on feeling motivated and the feeling left. But silent workers don't rely on feelings. They rely on discipline, the ability to do the necessary thing regardless of the emotional weather inside them. Discipline doesn't ask, "Do I feel like it today?" Discipline asks, "Was this the plan?" And if it was the plan, discipline executes it, tired or not, inspired or not, understood by others or not. This is the quiet difference between people who talk about transformation and people who actually transform. It's not intelligence, it's not talent, it's not even opportunity. It's the willingness to keep showing up long after the excitement wears off, to do the boring, repetitive, unglamorous work day after day, when no one is filming it, no one is clapping, and no one even knows it's happening. That is where mastery is built, not in the highlight reel, in the silence before it. One of the most powerful advantages you will ever have is being underestimated. When people don't take you seriously, they don't guard against you. They don't compete with you. They don't try to stop you because in their mind you're not a threat. Let them think that. Let them assume you're not serious. Let them assume your goals are just talk, that you'll give up like you supposedly always do, that you don't have what it takes. Every doubt they hold quietly works in your favor, because while they're busy underestimating you, you're busy becoming exactly what they didn't expect. This is not about proving people wrong out of anger or revenge. It's not even about them at all. The moment your work becomes about proving someone wrong, you've handed them power over your motivation. Real silent work is not fueled by spite, it's fueled by purpose. The people who doubted you are simply irrelevant background noise by the time your plan is complete. You won't even remember what they said. You'll be too busy living the result. Here's the secret nobody tells you about silent work. It doesn't stay silent forever. That's not the goal. The goal was never to hide in the shadows permanently. The goal was to build something so complete, so undeniable that when it finally reveals itself, there is nothing left to argue. That is the moment the noise comes, but this time it's not your noise. It's everyone else's. It's the surprise on their faces. It's the questions they suddenly have. It's the respect that appears in people who once doubted you, even if they never admit it out loud. You didn't need to announce it. You didn't need to convince anyone. You didn't need permission or applause along the way. You simply worked in silence until the result made all the noise for you. That is the entire philosophy in one sentence. Work so completely, so quietly, so relentlessly that your success becomes impossible to ignore and impossible to argue with. Let's make this practical. Philosophy means nothing without action. Here is how you actually apply this mindset starting today. 1. Stop announcing your plans. Keep your next move to yourself. Let your actions be the announcement. 2. Write your plan down in detail, not a vague wish, an actual structured plan with phases and timelines. 3. Identify your weak points in advance. Know exactly what will try to stop you, laziness, doubt, other people's opinions, and prepare your response before it happens. 4. Show up daily regardless of emotion. Discipline is not negotiable with your mood. 5. Protect your energy from noisy people. Distance yourself from those who talk more than they build. 6. Let results speak, not explanations. When someone questions your path, you don't owe them a debate. You owe them nothing but your continued work. 7. Review your plan regularly alone. Check your progress in silence. Adjust in silence. Never let outside pressure rush your timeline. 8. When it's finally time to reveal the work, let it be undeniable. Don't reveal it early out of impatience. Wait until it speaks for itself. This is not a one-time motivational burst. This is a lifestyle. a way of operating that you carry into every version of your future, every business you build, every skill you master, every version of yourself you become. At the end of it all, understand this: the world will never fully understand the ones who work in silence, and that's exactly the point. You are not building this for their understanding. You are not building this for applause. You are building this because somewhere inside you, there is a version of your life you have not yet lived, a level of yourself you have not yet reached. And the only way to get there is through work no one sees, discipline no one claps for, and patience no one else has.